Camusta there, guys. What is up? It is the Draxix dude here, and today we are going to be taking a look at Black Ops 5 here in the near future. Hopefully we'll be talking about it very often here, because again, this is an FPS channel. I wouldn't even say it's a Call of Duty channel. I think a lot of my stuff resorts around FPS and games like that. Of course, I might sprinkle in Red Dead, GTA, that type of deal here and there. But it's basically what I just want to make here in the FPS world. Personally, Call of Duty is going to be a major focus of this channel, regardless of if the game's good or not. I mean, to be honest, hopefully the game will be good, but as we all know, games change, games evolve, and obviously they're not going to cater to what I think or what I believe. And a lot of YouTubers, a lot of players, especially a lot of people that play the game, feel like the game deserves to be put on a pedestal, if that makes sense. Not necessarily a good one. I would say more of like a bad pedestal, like where this game is supposed to be. It's supposed to be here, but it's really here, and that's the biggest issue about this game. But that's not about Modern Warfare. I think we need to talk about Black Ops 5. Now, I know I've made a video in the past, just talking about what I want Black Ops 5 to become, what I want Black Ops 5 to be. And there's obviously going to be a YouTube video on my channel describing what I enjoy about Black Ops and what I do enjoy, or what I do want the game to become, and I want the game to showcase in this next Black Ops game. It's not very it's not very hidden. I do not like Black Ops 4. A lot of my videos really rank on the game. I don't like Black Ops 4. There's a couple things that I find very cool about the game, but I mean, okay, I should talk about the things that I enjoy about Black Ops 4 that I do want to include in the Black Ops 5. And this is another thing. Why should Black Ops 5 be pushed to 2021? Now, does it really give them extra time to improve stuff? More than likely. But will they actually improve on what they make and all the maps and stuff? Will they add on to what the maps they already have? The short answer is probably not. I'm not going to say that they should not increase the amount of content in the game just because it's an extra year, but they definitely should focus on bugs. They need to focus on, I would say, after content, content after the game has been released, because a lot of the game's life cycle is based on content after the game's been released. Now, don't get me wrong, I want some really good launch content, but I want a game to last throughout the year. I don't want to play it for a month and then get bored and then go play something else because the game has no new content. Now, if all the content is released at once, the problem with that is you don't have a lot of content to dive into over the next couple of months, and you end up not really playing it all that much. And I know there's a lot of people, there's a cult community that really just wants the game as soon as possible, and I understand that you want all your content all at once, but realistically it doesn't work for the developers, and honestly it doesn't really work for me, because I like to have this spread out content from month to month. And I get it, if content is spread too thin where it's only coming out like every other month, I can understand why people don't want that. But if there's a steady stream of content, and this is what Black Ops 5 needs to focus on, especially if it's pushed to 2021, you also got to remember that next-gen consoles are going to be coming out this season, or this winter season, and having Black Ops 5 be pushed to 2021 really puts a damper on that, because when you release a new console, especially when we're talking about the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox 2 Project Scarlet or whatever that refrigerator looking console happens to be, you're really setting yourself short, especially when, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who do not buy a next-gen console, myself included. I am going to make a video on why you should not buy a next-gen console as soon as it's released, mainly because of the price factor, but honestly, you just don't really need it. Especially if you're able to play these... honestly, you should not buy, new games with your old console. You should just save up getting better console, but that's a discussion for a different video. Obviously, I might be out of touch when it comes to that, but I do have a basis for my thoughts. But when you make Black Ops 5, you need to focus on backlogged content. Obviously, now you cannot include a season's pass. That is impossible now. The fact that they've opened that Watergate where they will not be charging a season pass or a expansion pass type of deal, it's opened that Watergate where every Call of Duty now has to not have a season's pass. And I hate saying season's pass because it just doesn't roll off the tongue that well. I don't like the way it's said. Content in the future. You should not have to pay for content in the future, especially considering microtransactions are a big part of Call of Duty and a big part of a lot of games. And I could talk about how bad microtransactions are for the 100th time, but honestly, it's not going anywhere, and there's nothing I can do to change that unless for some reason they start charging more for these games, because honestly they make less money now than ever before, mainly because these games are harder to make. And a lot of people say PlayStation 2, the original Xbox, these games were polished when they were released. Of course they were, because it took less manpower to make those games. It takes more manpower to make these graphically intensive multi-million-dollar AAA title games, and a lot of people don't understand that. And don't get me wrong, I'm on the side of the people, but when you make these games, microtransactions are going to have to be a thing unless they get more money from the initial sale. That's why a lot of games, especially Call of Duty, especially 2K, Madden, with all these crappy microtransactions, they always dip their prices because they want people to buy their game. They want people to then buy microtransactions for the game, because that's really where they make their money. Because even though there's going to be a lot of people who are going to pay $60 for the game, seriously, wait a couple of weeks, watch gameplay on YouTube, because there's going to be YouTubers that pay full price that get paid basically to play video games. They're going to showcase the game. They're just going to... Honestly, there should be less population once the game starts. As a couple of weeks go by and you really like that game, and the game goes on sale, which it usually would, especially if a lot of people don't buy the game. The idea is to get people into the game, to get those microtransactions, to get money for the developers. And whether you like it or I like it, it's probably the way it's going to be for a while. Might as well embrace it. Get Black Ops 5 when it gets pushed down to $30. When it gets pushed down to $20. Mainly because you don't really want to pay $60 for a game that's going to be filled with microtransactions. And honestly, for those people who do not buy microtransactions, this is a good thing, because your games are going to be a lot cheaper than they usually are, and there's going to be a lot more people, really spending their money for your game. And honestly, it's a good thing for gaming in general. I just don't feel like a lot of YouTubers really talk about this when it comes to Call of Duty and Battlefield and other games. a lot of these issues come back from the whole free-to-play games, where they showcase this this platform where they can just get people to play the game and then buy the microtransactions, and that's their money-making method. I love free-to-play games. I really do. Destiny 2 should have been free-to-play as soon as it's been released, since it was basically a microtransaction via expansion packs. And I get it, they have microtransactions now, and they've, have skins and camos and all that stuff now, and ornaments, I guess. But it's basically a platform they can sell these microtransactions, but there is a game there, and of course all of that goes along with that. Tell me what you guys think here in the comment section down below. Please tell me what you think about Black Ops 5. What do you want for the game, and should it be pushed to 2021? This is not me telling you whether it should be or should it not. That's not what this video is about. This is about me connecting with my audience, maybe getting your opinion on this game and how it could be improved here in the future. Tell me what you guys think here in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Talk to you later.